been a while. Happy 2026, everyone. It's me. Welcome back to the channel after a few months of me disappearing and making long form videos. It's good old 2026. And I thought today we would do something a little different because I have been slacking on my reviews. I want to do more reviews. It's just, I get out of a movie and I'm just just so many different things, and I need to get better at filming these, even if it's just for me sitting in front of the camera 5 minutes. Well, this is going to be longer than 5 minutes. But this was such an amazing year for movies. One of my favorites for film in general. Like, things blew me away. Like, I'm probably, maybe we'll do a video on TV shows depending on how this does. But this year has been amazing for films. You'll soon see by this list, I'm kind of calling this year the year of horror. I think this year horror movies have really just shown like how great they are, and I love that horror is being shown so greatly and the love it has in this industry. Although not all my favorite movies are horror, I love horror. I'm currently working on a horror film with a friend. I'm not going to disclose details on that, but we are currently working on the first draft of the screenplay for that, and we have been for the past almost a year now. So hopefully you guys will see more about that soon, because we hope to do things with that project. So that's a little tease for 2026. But yeah, so I just think we're going to hop straight into it. Let's just keep going on the top 10 films of this year. We're going to start from number 10 and work our way up to number 1, obviously. And yeah, and if you guys like videos like this, let me know. Let's get going. Number 10 on my list of my top 10 movies this year is a movie known as J. Kelly, directed by Noah Baumbach, starring George Clooney and Adam Sandler. And a lot of people might be surprised that this is on my list. Like, I know I thought it was amazing. A lot of people were. It's kind of a mixed movie. And that's honestly like why it's so low on my list, but I'll get into why like I think it does deserve my top 10, because honestly this movie is a mixed bag. There are some parts I don't even fully love, but there's just something about Noah Baumbach and the way he writes realistic dialogue that just it works for me. I think that Noah Baumbach is really great at that. I haven't seen Marriage Story, but I've seen the Meowritz story. The Myritz, I'm saying that wrong, but that movie also with Adam Sandler. I also have just been loving the streak that Adam Sandler's been having with his dramatic performances. Movies like I've not watched Uncut Gems, I know I need to, but movies like Spaceman, a lot of people didn't love. I fucking love that movie. That was in my top 10 last year. I just thought that movie was so just fresh for his performance, and this movie's even better. It's really cool seeing Adam in a supporting role, because a lot of the time he's kind of in the leading role in these comedies. But just seeing him work off like greats like George Clooney or Laura Dern, I think. Yeah, Laura Dern, Patrick Wilson, Greta Gerwig. Like, Adam holds us up to like these Oscar-winning actors and directors. And honestly, I think that Adam Sandler is what makes this movie. There is just one scene he has towards the end that just really got me teared up. I will also say that George Clooney does amazing. I think this is a great film because he's been doing acting for so long. I wouldn't be surprised if this happened to him. Just everything in this movie feels really authentic, and I like that. And it is more of a slice of life movie. Now, I don't think everyone will get into this movie, because one thing is, again, you're following a very wealthy and kind of spoiled actor having a midlife crisis. But I think what they do things right to where you do understand him, like showing like the disconnect with him and his daughter, which was honestly, other than Adam Sandler, was my favorite thing, was our main character played by George Clooney, named Jay Kelly, obviously. You see Jay's strain with his oldest daughter, and there's this scene towards the end, I won't go too much into it, but he's just kind of lost, and he's walking through the woods, and it's this beautiful foggy set, but he's walking through the woods, and as he calls her, she like walks next to him, and that was honestly, I think, just my favorite scene in the whole movie. I think that scene really showed what the purpose of the movie was, and the final shot was really good, and you can take it different ways. My favorite thing is flashbacks that they do, so I think things really work great in this. So yeah, that is my number 10, J. Kelly. Not for everyone, but I just think the movie's a delight. Number 9 is Good Boy. I quite enjoyed this movie. This one was it was really interesting. Now, I had a friend of mine who loved this movie. He was able to see it in theaters. He was telling me all about it, and I was like, oh, it looks good. It didn't wow me. It looked like, oh, a dog is finding a supernatural threat, but it hit AMC Plus, so I sat down and checked it out, and I was genuinely blown away with what this film does and with the story, honestly. I won't go into like the story because I think going to this movie blind, even the trailers don't say like what it's about, but there are great themes. What it sets up the themes of does really great. Because I don't want to get into too much spoilers in this film, but there's this thing that goes on with Indy, the dog in the movie. His owner's going through something, and so it's like, is this really happening, or is the dog seeing it as being protective? And the dog just, I will say this, I know it's like the dog's not really acting, and like it was hard to make the dog act, but genuinely, Indy the dog does so great in this. And again, it's like they have a thing at the end of the movie where it shows you like, oh, it's your brain telling you what he feels. And I think that is just so smart to do for a movie. And it was beautifully shot, and I wasn't scared. I don't really get scared by horror movies, but there was a really good like scene at the end that was just disturbing, and it could be the artsy fartsy film kid in me, but I thought it was beautifully, and it beautifully done, and it captured things really well. Negatives, I would say that the middle can get it drags a little. I think there are some scenes where it's just kind of like I mean, I love the idea of looking at nothing, but like there's a certain point where I'm just like, the movie just kind of stops to kind of be like, oh, look at this idea we're building up, and some ideas are just kind of but other than that, I thought that film was absolutely amazing, and it genuinely shocked me with how good it was. Number 8. Now, this is kind of a curveball for people, because I know a lot of people saw it, some people didn't, but I really enjoyed it. Companion, directed by Drew Hancock, and it stars Sophia Thatcher and Jack Quaid. This was one I saw the trailers for, and I'm a sucker for horror comedy when it's done right, and like when they have like these really cool ideas, and the trailers were kind of confusing me. So I was really excited, and I won't go into too much because I think if you go to see Companion on streaming, if you haven't gotten spoiled, go into it blind. Definitely recommend going into it blind because the film really works not knowing much. And again, I knew like the main premise and like the twist with the main character. Again, it's been kind of a while since I've seen it. Just something about it stuck with me, especially the comedy. And the comedy, I think that's the con, is the comedy's not everyone's cup of tea, but I just thought the movie was really funny, and it is kind of cool seeing Jack Quaid in more of a antagonistic role, which we've kind of seen in as Richie in Scream 5, and I'm a Scream guy. I love Scream, so I thought that was really interesting to kind of see him do that. I mean, he is kind of playing, I would say, like, he's a little too close to Richie in Scream 5, but he does just enough, and you kind of get confused on, like, what he's feeling, and then there's even more revelations in the film that make you go, whoa, that's crazy. So I thought that really worked, for the film. Yeah, it was just funny. I think it had a great ensemble, because sometimes either you love or hate ensemble. I really loved it. There's this romance between a guy and another character, and when stuff happens to them, you actually like feel the pain for one of them. I just thought it worked as a fun horror comedy, and I think like other movies like Weapons, which is an honorable mention, which I'll go into honorable mentions. I think I was kind of torn between this and Weapons being in this spot, but I just think something about Companion stuck with me. Number 7, K-pop Demon Hunters, directed by Chris Applehines and Maggie Kang. I'm probably saying those wrong. I'm so sorry, guys. But this has been like the surprise hit of the year, and you were probably sick of hearing about it, but I'm going to talk about it. And I kind of want to go into the story of like how I saw this, because I think it's really funny. So before I get into what I thought about it, the story behind this is really, really funny. So the movie just came out of nowhere, right? In what was it, June? I think it was around June when it came out. And there was just a ton of buzz about this movie. And I was just starting seeing reels on Instagram and on YouTube and TikTok. I was seeing videos about it everywhere, and I was like, and again, it's the title. It's like K-pop Demon Hunters. And again, like, I don't hate K-pop. It's not my thing.
Except Blackpink. Blackpink is really good. Listen to those guys.
And I didn't want to be it felt like another Frozen. I mean, it kind of is, but it's way better than Frozen. But I was like one of the prime kids during the Frozen era, and it was a lot. I did love Olaf, though. So I was hearing so many things, and then my co-writer for this movie we're writing, she was putting on Instagram like, "Oh, this movie's amazing! Everyone needs to see it." And I put on her note, I was like, "Is it really that good? It's K-pop Demon Hunters," and they're like, "Yes, you need to watch it." And next thing you know, like, "I'm coming to your house. You're coming to my house to watch it." Next thing you know, she's pulled up in front of my house, being like, "Beep, beep, get in the freaking car." So, like, on the way, this wasn't planned. I'm just in her car, driving to her house. We sat down and watched K-pop Demon Hunters, and I even popped my shoulder, and I popped my shoulder, dude, because I was crying, right? And she filmed my reaction, and I stood up and had like this over-the-top reaction of what I thought about the movie during one scene at the end, and I was like, let me just play the clip.
Hey bro, say that again.
No, okay. Fucking K-pop Demon Hunter. K-pop Demon Hunter has me cry. Oh, I just popped my shoulder out. Oh.
And
it has me cry. Ow.
And to think you were making fun of me for watching it.
I wasn't making fun of you.
Yeah,
you were. I mean, I kind of was.
You were.
Watch this. Ow. Watch this movie.
Yeah, that happened. I straight into my shoulder popped, and So I cried because I was crying, and it was just such a good movie. Now, what I thought about it is, it's amazing. I think that every once in a while we really get an animated movie that just feels fresh. And I feel like we haven't gotten an animated movie like this for a while that has felt this fresh. Other than maybe Spider-Verse or mainstream success. And it's just crazy because, like, there was no faith in this movie just being dumped on Netflix, and then it came out, and everyone is obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with it. I have a friend, and we hunt for the merch. Like, I have this like puzzle cup right there. I have the Shin Ramen. Another thing that I also have, because my other pop socket broke, and I need a new pop socket. My pop socket is literally Zoe. So this movie, like, I don't know what else to say that hasn't been said before. It just felt fresh. I mean, like, not everything about it is amazing. I think the romance is good, but I think that it was like kind of back and forth on wanting to be a romance or not. Pacing was great. I mean, the animation was amazing. The music is great. I have the vinyl over there. I think the music really just it encapsulates what the movie is, and it's different from a lot of movie musicals. And I love movie musicals. Like, I'm a musical kid. So, and it's really fresh seeing those musicals. So, again, other than that story, there's just, you've already heard everything before, and if you like it, you know my thoughts. I just think it does something really fresh for animated movies recently. So, yeah. Number 6, we're almost halfway through the list, guys, is Together, directed by Michael Shanks and starring Dave Franco and Alison Brie. Now, I have already done a review of this movie. You guys can check that out somewhere right here. And I did that review with my buddy Tyler. We saw it like fresh out of the theater. We sat in his car and we gave our thoughts. So if you want my initial thoughts, you can click that video. But what do I think of it now after having it sit with me? I haven't watched it a second time. I don't rewatch movies as much as I used to. But what I think of it is like sitting with it is I like it even more than I thought. Like, I thought it would be lower in my list. No, it got higher. And I think one reason like why I really loved it when I first watched it is I had a breakup at the time, so it was like it wasn't like a serious relationship, but it was like, oh, you kind of think about that stuff and like codependency. So the movie had me thinking when I first got out of the theater, but also I gotta say this movie is like kind of a horror comedy, but in a good way. I think that the movie itself would not work without Allison Brie and Dave Franco's performances, because they are what carry this movie, because they were actually married in real life, and just everything felt authentic. And I think it is a great starter into the body horror genre. Again, I don't really get into body horror, not because it grosses me out. It's the stories aren't my thing. This one was great. I think that together, it's great to kind of start into it. Like, there are gross moments. There are scenes like that bathroom stall scene. Like, if I think about it, it makes me want to go down there and grab my crotch and go, no. So, like, something like that. I think that it just really works because it does make you get grossed out. But also, you really care for the characters. And I think that the ending is just, like, really perfect with what it does. And I think the movie was great in its themes and messages, and yeah. But again, I there's not much else to add. I just think I really love this movie more, and I think that it just works really great. So if you want to see my initial review, again, check out that video on the channel, and yeah. Number 5, guys, we are officially halfway through the list, and now this is like where like the really good movies start to go, in my opinion, and some of you guys might disagree with my opinions, but here we go. Number 5 is the film Life of Chuck, directed by Mike Flanagan, starring Tom Hiddleston. This movie really blew me away because, well, one, Mike Flanagan, he is one of my all-time favorite directors. Dr. Sleep is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Hush. So many things that everything that Mike Flanagan touches, in my opinion, is golden. So hearing he was doing another Stephen King adaptation, but it wasn't horror, really intrigued me because I've never seen him outside the horror genre. So, and when the trailer came out, I was like, this just feels like a great movie. And I watched it the week not even a week after I just recently graduated high school. And I think it was just at the moment, it just really hit me. And I've actually, it's back here, I won't grab it, but it's right there. I bought the book, and I read the mini story book, and the book is amazing. I think the film is even better. I think the film expands the ideas of the book, and it shows the characters more, actually connected more. But no, this movie the best way I can describe this movie is it's something beautiful. And about 2 weeks ago, I rewatched it because it hit Hulu. And something about it, it's just, whenever I watch it, even in the saddest moments, like, I cry, but I also just smile. The movie makes you smile, and it really shows you just the good things in life. And I think we need that, especially now, just showing life can be hard, but find good in the hardness of life. And so the movie really struck a chord with me emotionally, especially that beginning scene, and then but mainly the final scene of the movie, which I won't go into, where he's sitting, where he goes into this place that they've been building up this entire movie. And my worry is like, oh, they're gonna make this a letdown. But what they do is this final scene in the movie, it's really beautiful, and it really makes it worth watching till the end. And I think it really hones in on the greatness of the film. I was just like, I understand what the movie was trying to do, and it really struck an emotional chord with me. Yeah, it was just beautiful. That's the best way to explain it, and it's stuck with me. And the performances are great. Tom Hiddleston, he's kind of the main headliner. He's not in it that long, but you feel it, and then just because they have several actors playing Chuck, it feels like the same character, and it's beautiful, and there's this mystery, and it just, the movie brings, like, it's something special to me, and that's why it's number 5. It was just so beautiful, and I don't think I'll have another movie experience like that, where just the movie makes me feel the way that did. Life of Chuck is like, it's a bottle of feelings that you can only get from that movie, and it's phenomenal. Number 4 on my list, guys, is Better Man, directed by Michael Gracie, starring Robbie Williams as the narrator and a bunch of other actors that I don't really know the names off the top of my head. But Better Man is such a... So technically it had like a small release in 2025, or 2024, which made it eligible for the 2024 Oscars. But it had its big release in 2025, and so I'm counting it. And also because that's like when I was able to see it in my theater. What did I think of this movie? This is one of my new favorite, top 3 favorite musicals and top 2 musical biopics. I think Better Man was a phenomenal movie. It is directed by the guy who did Greatest Showman, and this movie, it really deserves more love, guys. I think that not a lot of appreciation is shown to this movie, and it sucks because it's such a raw and intense musical biopic, but it's so creative. And because again, musical biopics, I mean, one of my favorite movies is Rocket Man, the Elton John biopic, and that movie blows me away. So seeing Better Man, I was like, I hope this is good. I mean, it's different. The main character is a monkey, and I was genuinely blown away. I got to see it in only me and Tyler. I think we did an out of theater reaction. I'm not sure. I think we did. If there is, it's right there. So we saw it, and I was just I remember Tyler just seeing my eyes going, that was amazing. And for I'm not even kidding you, for 3 months straight, I was jamming to the soundtrack. Especially songs like Rock DJ. I mean, Come Undone was my favorite scene in the whole movie. It is some of the most creative musical sequences I've ever seen in a musical movie in a long time. Everything was just so fresh about it, and it just the raw grittiness of it. And Robbie Williams just telling them, you do not need to hold back. I was a fucked up person, and I wasn't kind. Show me being the asshole that I was. And it's such it really shows just how great it is. And you feel for every character, and there's the romances and just everything fit together. And how in biopics, a lot of the time, it wasn't his whole life. It was just showing up to this one point and then this other point. A lot of biopics, characters come in to the movies and they're never seen again, kind of like someone's life. But they really show where are these other people in his life, because there are some important people and people he's fucked over. You see this, and the songs, and a lot of time, with a jukebox musical, which is a jukebox musical, but it's fucking phenomenal. You could tell, Mamma Mia 2, or they're very tacked on, or that Amazon Prime Cinderella, which is god awful. You can tell, but this movie works so great, and they change the songs around, and it's just a wonderful film, and I just love the raw grittiness of it, and it just blew me away. And I know I'm repeating myself, but that's okay. Just show this movie more love, because it is one of my new favorite films just of all time. I adore Better Man. It is probably it would be when it comes to favoritism, it's higher, but film wise, the other ones are better. But this might be in my top 10 list of favorite movies. Number 3, guys, is Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, and a bunch of amazing actors. Now, I think you've heard everything under the sun about this movie, so I'm going to tell you guys a story with it. But first off, you're probably wondering, Sinners, at number 3. That should be your number 1. And yes, it should be, but there are 2 others that just mean more to me, and they just impacted me more. But Sinners is phenomenal. If it doesn't win Best Picture, I will throw hands. It deserves all 16 Oscar nominations. Go Sinners. But this movie is phenomenal. I gave it 5 stars. I was jumping in my seat during the theater, because again, I went into this blind. I saw maybe the teaser trailer months in the theater. I went into this blind just because of the buzz alone. I was blown away. I listened to the soundtrack nonstop. I still do. Last Time I See the Sun gets me emotional. Rocky Road to Dublin. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. I adore Rocky Road to Dublin. That was one of my favorite scenes. The ending scene made me an emotional wreck, sobbing in the theater. So this movie's just phenomenal. And the funny story about this is going blind, right? I went with my girlfriend at the time. And I'll probably get some flack for this, but we were kind of resting on each other, the head here, and then I put my head here like that. So we were like this, resting. And then the scene, at the end, there's this big fight in the place, and the black, how the movie changes aspect ratios. It went from those black bars to this, so it was it went like this. fucking went, yeah. And so I shoved my date off because I was in such awe of how amazing the movie was, and I was like, oh my god. And the movie had, like, I remember I almost shouted through, oh, I shouldn't be screaming. The movie just made me, like, I was losing it, and it's such a 10 out of 10 movie. Like, I'm not even kidding you guys. It's amazing. Highly recommend it. There's been enough said about it. I don't really know what else I can add. I don't even have cons with it. It's just amazing. And so I'm sorry there wasn't a lot. Like, if you want to hear my thoughts, 10 out of 10 movie, 5 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. It's amazing. I also do have a Letterboxd if you want to see my initial reviews sometimes. So check out Vaughn Shelves. Number 2, which is the movie that I put over Sinners, which is crazy, is The Long Walk, directed by Francis Lawrence, starring Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson. Why The Long Walk is higher is because I like Stephen King. I don't love Stephen King. I think his horror is a little overrated sometimes, but it's still great. I see why it's a masterpiece. But Long Walk, I also kind of went blind. I just saw the trailers and I was like, that looks really interesting. This movie is hands down the movie that has emotionally impacted me the most and made me cry the most. I was actually sobbing my eyes out during this movie. It is an emotional gut punch that doesn't hold back, and I can see why it took so long to make it as a film. It is one of the most hauntingly beautiful films by how haunting it is. I think just something about it is so amazing. And what I love about it is it's not like people are competing for their lives. All these kids that you meet on these young adults you meet on this walk, I'm getting emotional thinking about it. They're all trying to be friends. They don't want each other to die, and the deaths are so gruesome. Everyone's trying to help each other. So, and from the very beginning, you just connect to these people, and as they die one by one, it's so gut wrenching. It just hurts. Like, you feel like you're losing someone yourself. And I think one reason it hit me as well is I lost my best friend, Corey. I lost him almost 2 years ago now. And it felt like not exactly, because that's a feeling you can't really describe, but something, but it gave me something similar to that. The movie really just emotionally slapped me, and it made me rethink just so many things in life. And it's really hard to explain without going to spoilers, because I'm telling you, just go see this movie. You don't need my opinion. It's amazing. It's just so... It's a lot to handle. If you can't handle heavy movies, do not watch it. But I was just blown away the entire time, and it's 100% worth it for that reason alone. And I could talk about this movie for hours, so we're not going to do that. We need to get to our number 1. Number 1 movie, guys, as you can see, is Superman, directed by James Gunn, starring David Cornsweet and Rachel Brosnahan and Nicholas Hoult. You're probably being like, Superman. Superman is your number 1 film of the year. Yes, this is a Superman blanket on my wall. That's the bucket. I have a Superman sweater shirt in there. But Superman was my number 1 film of the year. And I get it. Sinners and Long Walk, way better movies. But this movie meant the most to me. I love Superman. He's not my favorite. Batman's my favorite, if you couldn't tell. But something about Superman has always brought just out the happy kid in me. And I don't know if I've shared the story before, but the first ever movie I remember watching in my memory in life is Superman. The original 70s Christopher Reeve movie is the first movie I ever remember watching. It's one of my favorite movies to ever exist. But I remember laying on my grandparents' floor, watching that movie for the first time in utter awe. I think that Superman was just a mind-blowing movie. as a kid. Like, I couldn't expect, like, an old movie from my grandparents were kids, or my parents were kids. It looks amazing. It's so, and like, just the performance of Christopher Reeve as a kid, it's like, it's what made one reason I love movies to this day, and I've always watched them, and why superhero and comic book media means a lot to me when done right. So I had heavy expectations, because I'm a DC guy. I love DC. I love James Gunn, but I was like, it's Superman. Like, I hate Man of Steel. I will die on that hill. Man of Steel is a crappy movie, and it is the worst Superman movie. I don't care what you say, you glazers. Henry Cavill is a good Superman. I think he's great. Movie sucks. I hate Man of Steel. Okay. This isn't a Man of Steel rant. That would be a good video, actually. I went into this movie with high expectations, and they really were lived. I saw this movie 4 times in IMAX. 4 times. And, like, any excuse I could, I would be going. I took Tyler. This movie just, it meant something to me. And especially in the year of 2025, like, a lot of things were just I was going through change, right? I was going through, this could be biased, but I graduating. I'm an adult in the adult world. I want to go to film school, but I don't know what I want to do exactly. This movie just brought out the happiness in me, and just the feeling of being a kid. Everything about this, the performances, and just David Cornswood as Superman was just so amazing. I think that he really is what Superman is, and I haven't felt that in a long time. I think just like the hope, and just showing Superman isn't a bland character. People say that, and he's not. And this movie just brought out happiness in me in a weird time in life, and that might be why it's my favorite. But I've just never had a comic book movie strike that much of a chord to me since that first memory I have of watching a movie. One of my first memories ever is just sitting and watching the original. I think I don't think a movie's done that to me in a long time, and it's just, it's amazing. That's all I can say, really. It really is a just showcase of what hope is in Superman, and that's why, like, Supergirl is probably my number one and my most anticipated list for this year. I'm ungodly excited for Supergirl. Supergirl is going to be amazing, and no, it put faith back into DC movies, and just, it made me proud to be a DC fan, and I could go into so much. I need to do a video on Superman alone, but everything about Superman was great, and yeah, and I just don't think no movie can top it as my number one. Like, all my friends were like, oh, there goes Bridger seeing Superman again in IMAX, but yeah, so that is my number one. I'm sorry if I'm not giving a ton of in-depth answers, but 100% my number one. There's no movie just that has made me feel this way in all the years I've been alive. So that is my number one. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this list and this little ranting video. I didn't really come prepared for this. I just kind of have my letterbox list pulled up here, and I'm ranting about my films. But if you guys want to check out some other content, we are currently streaming Life is Strange. You can also watch the previous video. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, let me know if you guys like this and what you want more of, or if there's any movies you want me to talk about more. And yeah, you guys are awesome. Love y'all. Take care.